Well, the Astros are heading to north of the border. That's right. They've got the Toronto Blue Jays in their sights. If they want to keep that AL West lead, they need to win this series. Let's talk about it right now.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. You can find Brett at H-Town Wheelhouse. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go ahead and check us out. We're trying to get to 16,000 subscribers. So go and make us your first listen wherever you listen to your podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Monarch Money is an app that you could take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So, Brett, this is a very critical time of the season. You've got 18 games left. I know we talked about it yesterday, but with the Blue Jay, you're going to Toronto, 18 games left. You can't afford to keep on losing games like they are. So you got to go to town. You got to go to Toronto, and you got to play inspired baseball. We'll go ahead and talk about where the Astros are offensively during this podcast. The Blue Jays are a tough matchup. They are first in the AL East, so I know they've lost a couple games in a row, but still, we thought that the Rangers, who are missing two of their best hitters, were going to be an easy target, but you never know what's going to happen. And what are some keys to the Astros winning this series? So these are some of the things we'll talk about tonight.
No, yeah, definitely 18 games left. Scoreboard watching. What are the other guys doing? All these things play a factor in this point in the season. And it was a disappointing series loss by the Houston Astros because they very well could have won 2 out of 3. You had the Rangers, who limped into the series with 5 of their 9 starting players on the IL. Guys like Nathan Eovaldi, not even available at the moment. Jacob deGrom takes the mound, and the only victory you get is when he's on the mound. And Jacob deGrom is having an excellent year. I mean, this is a guy that everybody talks about, Eric, in baseball terms of, had he not been so injured the last 5 years, this is where he would be. And he's so good. Does he still get in, kind of thing? So, the Astros had a job to do. They go to Arlington, take care of business, go into Toronto, who's outpaced you for most of the, if not the entire second half of the season, and really supplanted themselves. Now, we do know the history of the Toronto Blue Jays in the playoffs and how they tend to disappoint year in and year out for the Toronto fans. But right now, it's all about the regular season, getting these wins, making sure that you hit with runners on base, not expanding the strike zone. I mean, all the things. And the most important point, Eric, they got to score more runs than the other team, right? Oh, is Eric frozen? There you go.
One of us froze. I don't know who froze, but
yeah. Well, I asked you a question and you were looking at me, and I thought
one of us froze. I don't know who froze, but it doesn't matter. But what was your question, Brett?
Oh, you didn't even hear me.
No.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you froze, not me. That wasn't me. So here's the deal. The Houston Astros going into Toronto, right? They've got to have this series. They are in a place where you've got George Springer, who's been hitting hot. They've got Vlad Guerrero Jr. They got Bo Bichette. They've got the role players. They've got the pitching, all that stuff. You got to go in there and score run. You got to get runners on base. And my final point was, you just got to score more runs than the other team, right?
Yeah, definitely. But Brett, I'm going to counter your question because you're just trying to get me to say the statement I've been saying all year that you got to score more than the opponent. But if you have the standings open, go and close it right now. What's your magic number for the number of wins that it's going to take to get the AL West this year. Don't look at how many wins the Astros or the Mariners have.
I'm not.
What's the magic number?
The magic number, I think, is 18 now because they won a game. I think the Mariners.
No. I'm not asking what's the magic number for how many games the Astros need to win. How many wins do the Astros need to have? Or whoever wins.
How many wins?
Yes.
They are. Well, I've got to know what they're at right now.
No. I don't want you to know. I want you to say what's the number needed to win the AL West right now.
Of their last 18 games, they need to win 13 of them.
Okay, you're still now.
Okay,
what's the magic? How many wins in total do they need to have? So with your 13, if you're saying 13, that means you're thinking that to win AL West, it's going to require 91 wins.
Okay. Yes, but I have to know what their number is to add that number to the.
Well, I asked how many total wins.
Oh, so, total wins. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah,
that's fine.
Sorry.
But
okay, that was a curveball. Come on, man. You can't. What are you doing that for me? Come on, bro. Not on air. Jeez,
all right,
Louise.
So that's fine. I would say, I think all year you and I have been saying 90 wins would win the AL West. But
okay,
I
thought you meant how many more wins in the season do you need? Okay, I didn't. Okay, whatever. Go ahead. That went over like a lead balloon.
Okay, so the Astros have 18 more games. If I'm correct, I believe the Mariners have 19 more games. So the Astros, they got to get to 91, they got to win 13 games, like you suggested. But to get to 90, they got to win 12 games out of the last 18. So my question is, what has this team done that's going to make you think that they can win 12 out of 18 games?
It's not what you've done, it's what you're going to do, right? And you got Myers healthy, you got Yordan hitting the cover off the ball. I mean, gosh dang it, Yiner, if you would quit chasing pitches. And Altuve, find yourself again, sir. Altuve, those guys right there are a key to the success. If those guys can all hit, Eric, at the same time, and Christian Walker, they'll have no problem scoring 4 runs or more.
You mean like they did the other day when they scored 11 runs in a game? They can do it.
Yes.
This offense is fully capable. But if you look at where they are right now, they rank 22nd with runs scored. They've got 609 runs. They're behind the Padres and the Rangers. But it's just crazy how this team is doing offensively. If you look at the batting average, I know batting average is so out of date, but they're 7th overall in terms of batting average with the 253 batting average. But you look at OPS, they're all the way down to 13th behind the Mariners with a 719. But the biggest thing is the clutch situations with runners in scoring position. And that's something that they've kind of struggled with all year. And I'm trying to find that real quick, but it's like, I don't know what they could do. I don't know if it's not a coaching thing at this point of the season. It's just making better decisions. I know this is something that they've been trying to coach for the past couple of seasons, but at the end of the day, it's the players making better decisions. And like Jesse says, consistency is needed because somebody, you see all those memes, we're so back, we're so not back. That's what it feels like every day because
it's that cycle. It's that cycle illustration where, it's like we're done or, the run is over. Here we go again. And I mean, yeah, look, you would love one of these next few games for there to be this outpouring of runs and it just catapult them into the next 6, 7, 8, 9 games. That would be grand. I would think if the Astros went on a 6 to 7 game win streak, they expand the lead between them and the Mariners by a minimum of 5 games. I don't see the Mariners sustaining that. I think the Astros doing that would be an absolute game changer for the rest of the season. Honestly, it would take a lot of pressure off the team, Eric.
Yeah. The Astros actually tied for 22nd in baseball with batting average of runners in scoring position with 243 with the Minnesota Twins. Behind them, you have the Royals, the Orioles, the Rangers, the Rockies, the White Sox, the Mariners, and the Pirates.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's frustrating.
Look, this team is who they are. They're not going to change overnight. They're not going to change because suddenly it's the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, again, they are who they are. And they have the ability to overcome that, I think, if any team does.
Hey, guys, we're going to continue this conversation next. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
When I get tickets to a game, I go to Game Time. I don't go anywhere else. And I can tell you quite honestly, you can look at my ticket purchases. If I were to show you my MLB app, you would see that all my tickets were purchased through Game Time. And if you purchase through Game Time today, you download the app, use the code LOCKEDONMLB, you get $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply, but there's no reason to go anywhere else. Getting the tickets is typically the tough part. But with Game Time, it's easy. And backed by a Game Time guarantee, you'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time, the best price. All fees are included. So the price you see is the price you pay. There's no bait and switch. There's no hidden fees. And, I love the zone deals as well. I pick the section. The Game Time picks the seats, and I save big. Honestly, it's faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way that I bought tickets. I have even walked up to the stadium, walked up to Dyken Park, even when it was Minute Maid Park, and gotten my tickets in hand on my phone within 3 minutes of walking into the stadium. Download the app today, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, the promo code is LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, download Game Time today.
Hey, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. I know the Astros have been battling their demons offensively this year. George Springer, for the past few seasons, has been dealing with the same thing since going to the Blue Jays, but this season has not been the same issue. He's batting .301 with 27 home runs, 72 RBIs. This is the same George Springer that we all saw when he played with the Houston Astros. So I know he's hitting the leadoff, and he's kind of been some of the driving force behind the Blue Jays' success this year. He's got 16 stolen bases. He's got a 942 OPS. He has 154 OPS plus. So he's having one of his best seasons. You can almost say he's having a better season than any season he had with the Houston Astros. The highest OPS plus he had was in 2019, which was 150, where he was all-star that year and finished 7th in the MVP race and won a Silver Slugger with the Houston Astros. But he's having a good season, but he's been struggling a little bit recently. But at the same time, you've got to limit a player like George Springer, because George Springer will kind of lead the whole offense, just like Jeremy Pena and Yordan Alvarez will do that for the Astros.
Yeah, definitely. And, the name of the game will obviously be putting zeros up on the board for the pitchers. But the other part of that equation has been the one that has been this topic and the sore topic of conversation. The first game, you got Luis Garcia going. They've announced Jason Alexander and Christian Javier as the pitchers in this series. You definitely like Luis Garcia, especially at this point of the season, because with his new arm slot, there's not a whole lot of tape on him. He is pitching different. He is looking really good. And so you hope that plays as an advantage. The Astros typically hit pretty well in the Rogers Center, and I would think that the Astros could continue to do that. I would love to see Jose Altuve go yard. I would love to see Yordan Alvarez go yard. But this is a very spacious ballpark. So hitting the ball into the gap for guys like Jeremy Pena, for even Yordan Alvarez, or heck, even Christian Walker. Christian Walker's been more of a spray hitter than a home run hitter this year, although he is in the 20s. He's 20 plus home run guy now. But you need these guys to come through, because the last thing you want is to stress this bullpen out. And the way you stress that bullpen out is Luis Garcia doesn't go deep into the game, or the offense doesn't perform, and Toronto gets a 2 or 3 run lead. Now you're playing catch up and playing from behind. They have the ability to come from behind and win, but I would much rather them score early, because they're really, really bad in first inning runs. It's not even worth looking at the comparison. There's such a chasm. If you can increase those first 3 innings scoring runs, putting crooked numbers on the board, you have a much better chance of beating Toronto. And look, you beat them 2 out of 3, you get closer to that second seed. That could really benefit you, because in the end, yeah, you want the West, but man, if you get the West and a bye, that's huge in 2025.
So to go back to your original statement, the Blue Jays now have 82 wins to 61 losses. The Astros have 78 wins to 66 losses. So there's a 4 games difference between the first seed and the third seed. Or the Astros technically, I know they're in the third seed, but technically the Yankees and the Red Sox both have a better record. So if the Astros were to fall out into the wild card hunt, then they would definitely fall out of the playoff picture, like the Mariners could possibly be. I know technically the Mariners are technically in the wild card hunt right now, but the game tomorrow is very critical, because Luis Garcia has been good against most of the hitters, except for George Springer. George Springer has 2 home runs against them and is batting .429 with a 1985 OPS, 7 RBIs. 7 at bats. Small sample size, but
isn't that all before all this? I mean, he's got the new arm slot. I think he's a different pick. He hasn't faced him this year, so yeah. I would say that's why I'm saying they haven't seen him with the new arm slot. So, and it is a small sample size. That's a lot of success, but hopefully it looks different coming out of his hand this time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're hoping for.
I don't even think it's going to be Dante Bo Bichette who's going to hurt the Astros. I don't think it's even going to be Guerrero Jr. It's not even going to be George Springer. It's going to be the Astros killer, Ty France. Ty France always seems to do something against the Houston Astros. It's very frustrating in his career. He's always come up with critical hit after hit. And so the Astros have got to pitch him well. He's batting .400 against Luis Garcia. Jimenez is also batting .400. And then Miles Straw is on the Blue Jays. He's batting .500 in a small sample size. But
yeah, he just came back. And he was 0 for 4 last game. I mean, he's in 265, respectable numbers there. The bottom line is, Eric, this is a good team.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good offensive team. This is a team that has solid pitching. Their last, I was trying to see who their last Scherzer. Actually, I completely forgot Scherzer was on the Blue Jays. Did you?
He doesn't seem like a Blue Jay, does he?
No. I remember, I know he's there, but I wouldn't even think, we won't see him because he just pitched 2 days ago. But yeah, but the Blue Jays, look, we can't worry about what they do in the playoff. It's about the regular season right now, and it's important. I think to the Astros, the day off probably did them some good, and now they're on the road. They play really good on the road, so we'll see.
Yeah, they just got to get out those road bats. Maybe they can get some runs early and not put a lot of pressure on Luis Garcia, because I believe he's making his second or third start back from the back to the rotation. So Jason Alexander, I feel really good about him going at least 5 innings, giving up 3 runs in his start or less, maybe 6 innings. Christian Javier, he's been kind of up and down, kind of like the Astros offense. He's either going to be really good or he's just not going to be very good. So I guess that's kind of what you can expect for somebody coming back from what the surgery he came back from. But unfortunately, the Astros are where they are. The question is, what do the Astros need to do? I know we've kind of touched on it throughout the whole show, but what do the Astros really need to do, not only to just win this series, but to win, Brett says, 13 out of the next 18 games. So they have not been winning at that clip. So what do they need to do that for the rest of the 18 games? We're going to talk about that next on the Locked On Astros podcast.
Look, sometimes you get asked questions and you don't really know the answers, like how many games do they need to win the division? But when I think of that, I know that at times in my life, I've been where I'm like, well, what's in my bank account? Or how many accounts do I have? That's why Monarch Money comes into play. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. Go to monarchmoney.com. Most people can't name their financial accounts or even know what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives like myself and like you. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is here for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. That's right. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate, easily reviewing finances with your partner or your financial advisor keeps your finances in clear view and your financial peace healthy. So don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. We are here during off season, during the regular season, hopefully during the postseason. We'll talk about every victory, every loss, every trade, every free agent signing, whatever it takes. The Locked On Astros podcast is here for you. So, Brett, the keys to the series, the keys to the rest of the season. I know it's going to start with pitching. I know that the pitching has not really been the Astros' big issue all year, but if you get off to where you give up 6 runs or 7 runs to start off the game, it's really hard for this offense unless they go and do what they did Saturday, where they scored 11 runs to really catch up to that, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to put yourself squarely. Sorry. I ate a piece of ice right as you asked me the question. That was bad for live TV. My bad. All right. So, yes, this offense is really good. Is not really good at reacting to falling behind. They let pitchers get in a groove. And one of the things that you've got to do is you've got to force the pitcher to throw more pitches. I don't want to hear the excuses about Jose Altuve. That's just what he does anymore. Stop swinging at that first pitch. Unless he pipes a heater down the middle and you can grab that and knock it over the left field wall, let him throw a couple pitches, especially, let's say, 4th, 5th, 6th inning later in the game. When a new guy comes in, his first pitch should not be hit unless he's just throwing an absolute meatball, right? So
Right.
Early on, they have to work the count. That's where Isaac Paredes is really missed. They see the second fewest pitches in the major leagues. That has got to change. I don't know that changes because this is who they are. They're creatures of habit. They're grown, men. They make millions of dollars. And when a player plays the game a certain way, they don't just flip a switch and change overnight. But there's got to be some planning. And if they're that big on analytics, the analytics, I got to tell you, being the second worst team with pitches being seen and your lack of wins lately, you've got to flip the script on that. So if they do that, Eric, if they see more pitches, if they have more plate discipline, they can score early more often, frustrate the pitcher, get a walk, get a steal, move a guy with the bunt, do what you got, sacrifice fly, RBI, whatever. You've got to get guys on the base pass and frustrate the starting pitcher.
No, it sounds like we were talking about pitching at first. It sounds like you just gave another example of what the Astros offense needs to do. So there's just so many, like, I know it's there's an article in The Athletic, and they're like, well, you think that your team is having issues? There's 15 fan bases that are dealing with the same issues. Like, there's so many contenders out there that are dealing with the same imperfections, and there's not a team out there that's perfect. You've got the Dodgers that are out there that are struggling, but this is what they had to say about the Astros. Yordan Alvarez is healthy. Jose Altuve remains a threat. Carlos Correa, Jesus Sanchez arrived at the trade deadline. But would you believe the Astros, before dropping 11 runs on the Rangers Saturday, ranked 25th in the majors, 25th in runs per game? Only the Rockies chase at a higher rate. Only the Athletics see fewer pitches per plate appearance. That's what you just said. The Astros missed the patient, productive Isaac Paredes out since July 19th with a right hamstring strain. But with the addition of Correa, they do not have an obvious spot for Paredes if he returns.
Yeah, Paredes returning creates a whole conundrum that I don't even want to be on the deciding end, which I'm not, which I guess if I was, I wouldn't be here. But the bottom line, Eric, is these guys have got to look at the numbers. If they're as analytical as they claim, if they've got all these people crunching numbers on computers, you mean to tell me that number that you and I are talking about, second fewest pitches seen per at bat, you're telling me that's a one number they're ignoring? And the reason why I assume they're ignoring it is simply because they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's just absolutely frustrating because at the end of the day, it's about opportunities. And how many times, Eric, do you get a guy on base, a guy on second, and you swing at the first pitch, or a guy on first, you swing at the first pitch and ground into a double play? The grounding into double plays has got to stop. They've got to get lift on the ball. They've got to move runners over. And the approach, the talk, the pregame plans got to be about that. Guys, create opportunities and capitalize.
Yeah. So Jake Myers, he's back to the lineup, so we'll see if that helps long term. But the offense needs to be more consistent. The pitching needs to prevent the runs early. And the bullpen needs to just not allow a lot of runs. They got to be almost perfect, and they got to do better in extra innings. I know they're not that bad overall for the season, but everything needs to be perfect over the last 18 games because they have not been winning a lot of games over the past month and a half or 2 months. And so to ask them to win 12 out of the last 18 games, that's asking them to change who they've been. Yeah. And that's going to take a big radical adjustment.
But okay,
Jake Myers, is he enough?
Yes, no. In this, Eric, this is what's frustrating to me because every time the words come out of my mouth, what you just said, it's not who they are. Like, they are who they are. This team is a swing first, see ball later. I mean, but you can't tell me that they're that mentally robotic that they can't go, okay, in this game today, when they get to the first game against Toronto, we are going to see a minimum of 4 pitches per at bat. Like, we're going to watch the first pitch. If one's close in the zone, we're going to foul it off. You got a ball, you got a strike. You're going to get 2 more pitches. Okay. You're going to see at least, I don't care. See at least 3 pitches, but there's got to be a mentality shift. And if they're pros, they should be able to make that shift. So I don't know that I buy. Yes, I get it. They are who they are, but that bothers me to say that Because every time I'm doing something in my life, and every time you're doing something in your life, and all our listeners and all our viewers are doing stuff, right? What are we told? Stay the same. Oh, you've just always done it that way. No. What does your boss tell you? Fix it, improve it, do better. Why can't they do that?
Yeah. Imagine I never got past like a coach pitch when I was coaching my kid in baseball, but I'm sure once coaches get to kid pitch where you're telling the kids, hey, wait for your pitch. Wait for the pitch where you can do some damage. I know you're not always going to get that pitch, but you would think that these big league hitters could do that. Wait for the pitch where they have all these hot zones. They know where they can hit good. They know where they're going to get those pop-ups. So wait for the pitch. If you don't get it, then yeah, you might have to swing at something with 2 strikes, but take a pitch, take a first strike if you have to, just see what's going on. But I think it's just more of an individual type mentality that needs to take place. And I don't think it's something you could coach. I think it's something that the Astros are just full of a team of aggressive hitters. And until they make that mental decision to change, you're just going to see a lot of the same.
Until they stop swinging like they're me playing MLB The Show. I literally, if you ever play me in MLB The Show, here's a little hack. I literally swing at every pitch because I don't know a ball from a strike on that game.
Yeah. Well, if you want to face Brett Chancey on MLB The Show and you want to strike him out, you can go ahead and follow him at
We should do a challenge. We should do a challenge.
All right. You can follow me at Eric Talkstros, and you can follow the show at Locked On Astros. Thank you for becoming every day or somebody that listens to podcasts every day. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be talking about an Astros victory. The Astros followed all of our keys to victory and just taking a more patient approach at the plate and getting some because we know the offense is capable of getting it done. So now they just need to go out there and get it done more consistent basis.
And tomorrow night, before the Astros game airs, we'll have 2 shows tomorrow. We have a pregame show airing at 6:00. The game starts at 6:40 Central. We interviewed Lucas Spence. He's with the Corpus Christi Hooks, the 21st rated Astros prospect. I don't know about you, Eric, but that was one of my favorite interviews. Great kid. I mean, the dude was great on camera. He's a pro. Like this kid, it would be great to watch him rise. He's risen 3 levels this year in the Astros organization. So tune in tomorrow, 6:00. Lucas Spence sits down with myself and Eric. It's a great interview.
All right, guys. Thank you for making us your first listen, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Go Stros. Post-mortem show. Come on, Chris. Be positive. You mean post-victory show.